Hey guys, I just wanted to do a semi-quick video about bullying and about the effects of bullying on children, teenagers, adults, and my experience with bullying as well. I wanted to show you guys a t-shirt that I have. It is Dare to Be Different. Me and Trevor bought online to support his sister's son who has autism. I'm all about being different. I'm all about not being the social norm. Bullying for me really started in middle school, I would say around the 6th or 7th grade. In elementary school, I don't think kids really noticed things being different about you, and I don't think that they necessarily cared. Whereas in middle school, teenagers are filled with insecurities and they're looking to lay their insecurities on someone and make someone feel more insecure than they are. My first experience with bullying was as soon as I entered middle school. There were kids who were saying that I ripped out my own hair, that like I was crazy and contagious and I could get other people to lose their hair or to make them pull their hair out, just like really strange things, that rumors that people were making up. I had bullies who just bullied me for wearing a wig. I had someone create, at the time there was MySpace, so I had someone create a MySpace that was making fun of me. I got home from school, I would have messages waiting for me on MySpace, or I don't know if you guys remember AIM. I would have AIM. I'd have people instant messaging me, just saying awful things with like random usernames, so I would never really know who it was. I got called a lot of names, and as I progressed through middle school, the bullying just got more harsh and more harsh. 7th and 8th grade were the worst years I had in school. I had a group of kids circle around me at lunchtime, and this one kid was being pressured by a bunch of other kids to rip off my wig in front of everyone at recess. There were a lot of people, bystanders in the background, just kind of stared. They weren't involved in it, but they were involved in it because they didn't say anything. I didn't expect anyone to come to my defense and to be like, hey, don't do that, because when you're in middle school, that's really scary to stand up to a bully and to say, don't do that, because you're afraid yourself that you're going to get hurt or you're going to get bullied every day. So what I did expect, though, was for someone to go to a teacher and to tell them what was going on at recess, but no one did that. And I remember them all standing in a circle, and the kid was getting closer and closer and closer to me with his hand out like this, trying to scare me, trying to upset me. And I remember my eyes welling up with tears, and then I was like, you know what? No. I'm not going to allow these kids to humiliate me. So what I did was I took a stand and I said, you can pull it off if you want to. And I actually leaned my head over like this and I said, pull it off right now, I said to him. And he backed up and he did not pull it off. And I remember the kids who were pressuring him to do it called him a bunch of names. Kids would stick gum to my locker so that when I went to go open the handle, there would be gum there. I went to the guidance counselor countless times. I actually got to the point where I was getting food thrown at me in the cafeteria. So I asked my guidance counselor if I could spend every day eating lunch in his room. Every day I sat alone in the guidance counselor's office and ate my lunch because I was just too nervous to sit in the cafeteria. Throughout middle school, I never had one person come to me and ask me if I was okay. I never had one person come to me and tell me that they were sorry about what happened to me and that they would go to a teacher with me or anything like that. I did have my parents. I had my mom and my dad, and my mom was extremely supportive. So was my dad, and they were pretty proactive when I actually started telling them about it, because they didn't know too much about this until I would say going into my 8th grade year was when they started to really hear about it from me. At that point, I was getting chased home from school and really threatened with my life, actually. So it got really, really bad. There's so much going on out there in the world right now where people are just being so nasty to each other. They are writing awful things on social media, and people just don't understand what it does to someone. I'm trying to make it my mission to make people realize that if you see something, you should say something. It doesn't mean you have to confront someone. If you're on the train and you see someone, harassing someone, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to jump up and hit that person in the face or jump up and start cursing and screaming at that person. It could simply mean that you try and find someone, an official or anyone, that can help that person. If you can't do it yourself, then find someone who can help that person. It's not right to stay silent when someone is being hurt. It is not right to stay silent when someone is being bullied, harassed. It doesn't matter. If you know it's wrong, if you feel that in your gut, do not just stand there and do nothing. Do not just stand there and say nothing. Go and find someone who can help that person if you can't do it yourself. And, in middle school and high school, I don't necessarily have resentment towards the people who didn't say something. I just feel like they weren't educated enough. And that's why I want to make it a point in my life to educate people on standing up and saying something and not just watching something happen and walk away. Because I've gotten messages years and years, and we're talking almost 10 years later, messages from middle school or people who I went to middle school with saying, I watched what happened and I am so sorry that I said nothing. I am so sorry that I didn't get you help. And I forgive them because life is too short to hold grudges. Life is too short to be angry at people. But in my heart, it makes me really sad that I didn't get the help that I needed. And then I went into high school feeling so insecure, so beat down. I just felt like no one would ever accept me. No one would ever want to be my friend. And it took years for me to accept myself and to realize that it doesn't matter whether these people want to be your friend. It doesn't matter whether these people accept you or not. It's all about you accepting yourself. If you accept yourself, none of that will matter. I don't care about being cool. I don't care about how many friends I have. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is, am I making a difference in the world? Am I proud of myself? When you're a teenager and you have people in your ear every single day telling you you're weird, you don't belong, you are a freak, you're a creep, you're ugly, why are you here? Why are you alive? You have people telling you these things every single day as an 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15-year-old. You start to believe that. And you start to believe that you need to shape yourself to be someone that you're not. And that is what I went into, that is what I left middle school feeling like and going into high school. When I graduated high school and I started college, that was when I started to learn more about myself. Because in high school, I was so consumed in what do people think? What do people think? Like, that's all I thought about for 3 years in middle school, 3 whole years, every day of my life in school. I thought, what do people think of me? They think I'm a freak. Maybe I am a freak. Going into high school, that's what I felt like. So it wasn't until I got away from these teenagers who had this closed mind way of thinking, and I went into college and met adults who don't care what your skin color is, don't care if you're wearing a wig, don't care if you have no eyelashes or no eyebrows, don't care if you're 300 pounds, don't care if you're 100 pounds. They don't care. What they're there to do is to learn. And what they're there to do is to focus on themselves and to learn more about themselves and about the world around them. My point of this video is, as a teenager, as an adult, if you see something, say something. go find someone and get that child or that teenager or that adult help. No matter who you are, no matter what age you are, teach your children, teach yourself. If you see something, say something, because not as many people as me are going to grow up and be okay with what happened to them. Going through bullying for 5 or 6 years, every single day of my life, for 5 or 6 years, impacted me tremendously. But because I had a great support system and because I found the strength within myself, I was able to move forward, come into my own, and learn my own truth. Other kids may not have that support system. They may not be that strong, and that is the truth. And if they aren't, that's how people end up killing themselves. That's how we're learning about 11-year-olds who are killing themselves. Now, had the person who first saw that bullying happen said something, would that 11-year-old be dead? Maybe, or maybe not. Think about these things. When you see someone getting bullied, think about the fact that anything can happen from that point forward. And do you want to look back and say, at least I said something, at least I proactively did something? Or do you want to look back and say, you turned the cheek? Because I know for me, as a teenager, as a kid, 11 years old, had someone have come to me and reached out to me and said, I'd like to be your friend. I know that these people don't want to be your friend. I know that they're hurting you and they're bullying you, and I want to help you as best as I can. I want to be your friend. Had I have had one person tell me they wanted to be my friend in middle school and genuinely meant it, that would have made all the difference for me. But everything I went through has made me stronger and has made me the person I am today. And if you're one of those people that have already been bullied, you know, if you're my age and you were a teenager and you got bullied very harshly, and if you're still impacted by that, know that that's completely normal, but also know that it's all about how you view yourself. It's not about how the world views you. Because at the end of your life, it's not going to be who liked you the most. It's going to be, did you love yourself? Did you enjoy your life? Not their life, your life. And if you need someone to reach out to, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I will always and forever be a voice for someone who cannot speak. I will always and forever raise my voice and stand up for anyone that I need to raise my voice and stand up for. So please do not hesitate to reach out to me. If you need someone to talk to, you need someone just to vent to, please don't hesitate. There are so many support groups online. I myself have a website that I share my story on. I have some great bullying tips on there, some great bullying video, support for you. It is www.neverbeafraidtostandup.weebly.com. I hope that this video maybe opens one person's eyes to teaching their child or teaching themselves that the next time they see something happen that is not right, that they say something to someone or they say something themselves. And another thing definitely to teach your kids is if you see someone being left out or you see someone really sad, to go up to that person and to say, are you okay? And to try and form a bond with that person and become friends with that person, because everyone needs a friend. Everyone.